Okay, guys. Anyway, let's get into this Trisha Pananis thing. So, Trisha Paytas, she made a video called Apology to Ethan. And it kind of bothers me that the apology is not a capital. Whatever, I don't care. Anyway, my understanding is she deleted all the old videos. What the hell? She also has a video called Jeff Wittick, Gabby Hanna, Ethan Klein, Enemies Number 1. She's making her own frenemies. What the hell? What is this? We might have to go over this in another video. I don't even know if I should, though, because I don't really know too much about drama. Like, I know that I talk about YouTube drama and stuff, but, like, I'm not super, like, I'm new to it, and I don't feel like going back through 8 years of lore. All I know is that Jeff Wittick, I think, is a scumbag, right? I think that's how much I know. Let me see what this guy looks like. I don't know what these guys look like. Who the fuck is Jeff Wittick? Do I know who this guy is? He's part of the David Dobrik crew, right? Whatever. Okay. David Dobrik's kind of a scumbag, too. I guess he's on his redemption arc, just like Trisha. Gabby Hanna seems like she's kind of crazy. I don't know too much about it. She is kooky. Whatever. I will say it looks like she's trying to capitalize on, like, frenemies by making her own enemies thing. And it's getting views where her other videos aren't. I mean, these are more views than I get, so I'm not, you know, whatever. But anyway, let's get to what we're actually trying to talk about, and that is her apology video to Ethan. Now, there's a couple things to notice right off the bat. Trisha didn't put on the fake show. Well, excuse me, she is putting on a different fake show. But as you guys know, in her previous videos, she pretended to do it like very ad-lib, where she put no makeup on. And she was like in a room, sitting on the floor in a position that made her look vulnerable and blah, 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 blah. You know, all that other nonsense. This time, she's all dressed up with her makeup on. She's happy. She's no longer a victim from a portrayal perspective, and now she's ready to be happy and apologetic after being told how she's wrong. This is like this. I mean, at this point, we kind of just know what's going on here. I mean, this is what happened, right? Trisha had a feeling about frenemies, that she was the victim, so she had a meltdown publicly. Right? Then afterwards, she wanted to hurt Ethan and the Frenemies podcast by discontinuing it. Then after she did that, she tried to get people to agree with her. Then people realized that she is not right because she's just wrong, really always. Oh yeah, over 5%. Then she continued to make videos like pretty much going after Ethan, saying that she's the one that's in the right, blah, blah, blah. Then that didn't work, and she doubled down on it and was like, oh, yeah, well, I'm going to meme the situation by making the 5% this, that, and the other thing. And now, from what we can see, she's realized her wrongdoings. But we don't really know. That's just my assumption. I feel like I've been right a lot of the time. Anyway, let's get this going with this fake motherfucker.
Me again. So I'm in a good mood. I think I'm in a good mood because I
probably started taking her medication like she's constantly saying she doesn't take consistently.
Finally started. I finally started. Funny text. I've always tried.
Oh, what was that?
Finally.
I don't know why I do this. Like, I can hear out of this, but for some reason doing this makes me hear it better.
I finally started. Funny text.
I don't know what she said. I'm going to assume it was her medication.
I've always started like taking care of myself this past week. Like,
I was right. No.
Probably stuff that like everyone just does in like life, so they don't die. Like, you know, eating decent meals at least like a few times a week, and like, you know, getting some physical activity. I really just like been neglecting that in so many ways. Like, I kind of just been like stuffing my face with like pasta and cheeses for like lunch and dinner, and just not working out, and just really feeling like overall bad about myself, and not getting sleep because, you know, I would have anxiety and just not really taking care of myself. I really thought, oh, I'm in therapy, like that's all I need to take care of myself, but it's really not true. And like the very first thing, if you go back to my videos from, like,
because I'm pretty sure
2019,
I'm pretty sure like your therapy isn't really good therapy or constructive. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but like it seems like your therapy is just the therapist. What's probably happening is either she shopped around for a therapist, or she's telling the therapist what they want to hear because she knows what she should say, which means that she's not actually getting anything out of therapy, because you need to be very honest if you want therapy to work.
Like, the very first thing my therapist told me was, like, 4 things, which is, like, get plenty of sleep, get out of the house and socialize at least a couple times a week, and, you know, eat a couple meals that are good for you, put good stuff into your body, and do physical activity, like, even for 20 minutes a day.
I think she said one of those twice.
And I just, like,
physical
did
activity.
basically all of that. I was like, oh, whatever, I'm in therapy. But those are, like, really just, like, simple things that, again, probably everybody does, but I just never did. And I've been doing them the past week, and I feel more centered. It really did change chemicals in my brain. I have been on medication. Well, that's not an excuse. I'm just telling you guys because I was put on new medication at the end of May, and people
told you
say it takes up to 2. It can take 6 to 8 weeks to, like, kick in. So I'm going to be, like, on the, like, 6-week mark, and like, maybe it hasn't kicked in yet because I was talking about wanting to get off medication. But overall, like, I really shouldn't have actually taken time off for myself while being put on medication because I don't respond well to medication. I've been talked about being on lithium before, which is, like, so ironic that Brittany came out with that last week because obviously we all feel, like, connected to Brittany in some way, but I've always felt really, like, a connection to her, and, like, hearing that, like, being put on lithium, like, when she wasn't supposed to, like, is kind of how I.
Somebody in my chat said, shouldn't old people like you be streaming politics? Now, politics is for nerds.
Oh. And so I've always had, like, a really gnarly experience with, like, antidepressants and just overall pills, like, medication. Like, I like Xanax, it's like, oh, but, like, pills that change, like, the chemical in my brain. Sidetrack. Vulture, let me get to the point, but Vulture did this cool article about my trigger warning album, and the title was, like, Our Chemically Imbalanced Romance with Trisha. And I was like, oh, that's so cool, because that's such a cool name. My band should have been called My Chemical Imbalanced.
I'm going to kind of fast forward through this.
This is maybe an album cover will have
irrelevant.
To be named that, but I was like, that's so clever. But yeah, anyways, I say all that to say, like, you know, I am taking care of myself. I know it, like, doesn't seem a lot
I got to be honest with you. I don't care if you are or aren't taking care of yourself. I'm not trying to be rude. I just move on.
Don't see it, and it's fine. Like, I don't
get
really
to the
do
point.
It for other people.
Fucking 40 minutes. This video's 39 minutes, dude.
Like, I hope I can like, inspire just through actions and not necessarily words. However, I did think this video
surprised she hasn't plugged her OnlyFans
something
yet.
That I needed to do for myself, and I wanted to do for Ethan and everyone involved with Ethan. He's very group oriented as far as family, the people he works for, and I respect that. I do, and I just.
So is she acknowledging that he's, like, a good boss to his workers? Is that what
this can give them some sort of peace, just know where I am at.
You could have totally did it privately. You could have done that. We didn't need to see this. Hey, I wanted Ethan to know that we're all at peace. Wow, really? Why the fuck does it have to be public? Tell him in private. In fact, if you started a trend of doing this in private, you wouldn't be here in the first place because you wouldn't have had your blow up on social media. You'd still be doing frenemies, actually, if you started now.
And it is totally up to them if they want to accept the apology or not. I've accepted apologies, and I have not accepted apologies.
Yeah, but now it's gross because now it's in public. So, like, there's a lot of people who are very ignorant who are like, oh, if they're gonna, there's a lot of people that will perceive this dog shit as a sincere apology, and then if Ethan doesn't accept it, he'll be seen as a bad person. And, like, that's part of the apology process for her. It's like the shame along with not accepting the apology.
And it's totally up to them. And sometimes things take time. And
it's not just an apology. It's like social weight onto the person to accept it.
Was talking about this yesterday. I was like, I want to reach out to your sister in, like, a month or two because I don't want it to be this fresh thing because it is still very fresh. But for me, I really like talking things out, like, pretty quick.
What?
Up until.
The fuck are you talking about? You like to talk things out you like to talk very quickly, but that's not the same as talking things out in a reasonable amount of time, a quick amount of time.
Like, even after the frenemies fight, like, we talked really quick. Like, he's like, are you done to film tomorrow? I was like, yes. Like, I wanted it to be over.
But then you disconnected, bro.
I do get in the moment, and it's not anyone's problem but my own, and it is something that I really need to work on. I'm not gonna take away the fact that I really do think I've made improvements, but end of the day, like,
yeah, you said a shitty thing to the crew. The crew didn't want to work with you for a day. They needed a break from you. You didn't want to actually be held accountable. It's not that you like to move through things. It's not that, like, you like to get through these things fast, like, in an apologetic way. You just like to move on once you're done having your fucking meltdown without taking responsibility for yourself. That's what the problem is, all right? If you're going to have, like, the Jekyll and Hyde complex, well, then, you know what? When you're Mr. Hyde, when you're Mr. Hyde and you go crazy, when you're back into Dr. Jekyll, you're going to have to take accountability. You know, that's how it works. maybe, just maybe, it wasn't really her, she blew up and it wasn't necessarily her fault. Maybe it was her mental condition. But once you're out of that frame of mind of fucking being crazy, you have to be held accountable for the way that you did act. That was still you.
I messed up and I sabotaged another good thing in my life, and
that's very important for you to listen to. I messed up. I sabotaged another good thing in her life. She doesn't give a fuck that she messed up. She cares that she sabotaged another thing. We saw this coming. Like last week, she made a video, the 5% video. I never got to release it on YouTube. I think I reviewed it like 2 days ago. Never was able to release it. Maybe yesterday. Maybe it'll be released by the time this. Anyway, my point is that she was like, oh, maybe I messed up a good thing. Oh, I don't care. This is what's happening. She's realizing that she fucked up and that she's nothing without Ethan. And now she's being apologetic because it's hurting her. She's not apologizing because she's wrong. She's apologizing because she lost out on being wrong. She doesn't even think that she's wrong still.
I messed up. And yeah, there's only so much back and forth, forgiveness, comeback that you can do in any situation. It's almost like a relationship situation, right? Where I quit before and then take me back. And, you know, it's kind of that sort of thing. And there is only so much back and forth you can do, and sometimes the final straw is not as significant as other fights. In me, I had to process like, well, this wasn't that significant. Why was this the ending? I quit before. You know, so I had to really process.
You like that? Her perspective is like, oh, I should be able to continuously do this without any fear of retaliation or any fear of like an actual, I guess, being held accountable or punishment, I suppose you would say. She thinks that she's entitled in her brain to keep doing this shit over and over. And it's like, oh, well, it's not that bad. This is we're really, she's really giving us a lot of reasons to not like her as this video goes on. All
this obviously with a professional, because like I couldn't process it just the same way I couldn't process like my breakup that I had a couple of years ago. Like
you like, processing is different. Like you can be held accountable without processing emotionally. Like you could still understand you're wrong. I couldn't
process it. I was like, why? But we were fine. But it was everything up to that, obviously, and so on. So this is my apology, and I kind of avoided it because this was the Taurus in me. I am pretty stubborn. Sometimes I'm like, but I'm also owed an apology in this, and I had to really let that go to find peace within myself. Like I don't want to feel like people owe me anything, but I don't feel that way in my.
I mean, like you literally are the embodiment of everybody owes me something. I don't know what you're fucking talking about.
Heart, truly, I really don't feel like anyone owes me anything in this situation or other things in other situations. You know, I saw a video of this person who's just so miserable so many years later and hangs on to things from the past and has all this hate and resentment and just made this person really ugly. And I'm like, I don't want to.
Is that just you? Oh, or is she talking about Gabby Hanna? Like, I don't know what's happening.
Be that person, and people have like called me this person's name. I was just like, oh, like the thought of it, like that kept me up at night. You know what I mean? So all that to say.
Where are these people on this?
Is
that Adam Sandler? What am I looking at?
Really sorry. I hope Ethan watches this. He doesn't watch my long videos. He usually gets them summarized. But if you see just this little clip, I'm very sorry, Ethan, for breaking your trust. Because I think that...
What does that mean to you? What does breaking your trust mean to you? I want to know what is that? Elaborate. Words are irrelevant. Elaborate. What does it mean to break his trust? And how did you even break his trust? Because I don't even know that was an issue. She didn't really break his trust. She was just acting like a child. And she was being a miserable child. And then they broke it off. Like she was being rude to people.
You know, I rehash things. I wear makeup. I don't want to cry. I'm pretty strong. I cry when
That is Adam Sandler. Oh, this is from Jack and Jill. Okay.
Overwhelmed with emotion, but you know, I know the main thing was when I screenshotted his text and showed them on Twitter, which ultimately ended up just exposing myself. So I wasn't thinking in the moment, obviously, because it showed me making some distasteful jokes and.
It did expose you. Yeah.
I apologize for those jokes. I had no malice, evil, or hateful intent with them, but they're still nasty, and I'm still...
The jokes wouldn't be so bad if you weren't such like a two-faced, hypocritical bitch. You know what I mean? Like, if that was just like fun between a friend and you were just being like a little bit of poking fun and like he was okay with it, like the jokes are fine. But it's the fact that you try to like shame him for every move and being a bad person when you do like shitty things.
Embarrassed that I, you know... thought that was cute. I mean, I'm still... let me just finish it.
Hey guys, I had plenty of time to look back and see your criticisms of all of my content that I made, and I've written a long list of what I need to apologize for you to hopefully forgive me so that I can go back to making money. That's what this is.
Because that has nothing to do with apology.
Good apologies aren't 40 minutes long. Good apologies are like a minute long, okay? This video should be 5 minutes long. See, this is one of the things that people don't understand. This is actually a common tactic from like disingenuous pieces of shit. What they'll do is that they'll make a really long apology video and they'll start the video off fucking rambling. So that by the time you get to the apology, you kind of tune out and you're like, oh, she apologized, whatever. And you just kind of move on. Because, like, who the fuck is going to watch a 40-minute video? I am. But she doesn't expect you to. That's why it's so long. It's a tactic.
I'm stuck on myself, so don't be like, this is what you trash. Like, I don't want people, I don't need to be hyped up. Just, you know, let me say the piece. So, I really apologize for breaking your trust. You know, he had tweeted something somewhere along that, like, he's like, this is crazy. This was someone I considered my closest friend, like a week ago. He had said that, and I, you know, like, the end of the day, like, I loved doing the show, but, like, I really loved him as, like, a friend, like, truly. It was, he was,
I feel like that's not correct, because I do genuinely feel like if you're friends with somebody, even if you think that they're wrong, you're generally more empathetic towards them. I didn't get that at all. I don't really think that she necessarily sees him as a friend. I think that she sees him as somebody that, I know this is weird, but, like, she has a weird attraction to Ethan. I think it's because she thinks everybody should be attracted to her, because she's the girl, and not to be too mean, but she's like the girl that most guys would fuck but nobody would date. And she's like, why doesn't Ethan want to fuck me? I think that's kind of, I think that's like her perspective on the situation. Like, she's almost in love with Ethan because of that. And also, it seems like she's, like, into some of his, like, qualities, like being Jewish and being a little chubby and blah, et cetera, et cetera.
Ethan's really different off camera in, like, a good way. You know, he is definitely one way on camera, and, like, his personality persona, that's him or whatever. Like, I feel
like he's not different off camera.
It's whatever, but him, like, off camera is actually, like, really, like, calm and just very, like, kind of chill, and, like, nothing matters. He's a very chill person in that way. Like, he kind of can, like, have things roll off him pretty easily, and, like, I learned a great deal from him being that way, you know, because I'm like, oh, okay, it's, he would things that I thought were such a big deal, he's like, it's not really a big deal. He would
I should have slowed this down.
This that I thought were big irrelevant in my head, which was like, you know, that was like someone I needed as a friend, and yeah, I do consider us friends, and I think, like, beyond losing the show, which was forever will be a great thing, like, it really does,
a lot of emphasis on the show,
suck to lose that, to have damper the personal relationship. Hopefully it's not lost, and I would like to personally reconcile, but again, in time. I'm such a pusher that I'm like, I need to talk about this right now, but in time. I apologize for not communicating with you, Ethan, better on the personal and professional level. I'm really bad at confrontation, believe it or not. I really do have to be to the point where I explode, and that's with my family, with boyfriends, with obviously in this work environment. I've never had, like, a consistent job like this, right? Or it's like
fucking 30 minutes
and
left.
I should have communicated my issues, my struggles, my feelings about all of it, the changes that were happening and stuff like that. You know, I should have been open to it. I'm really bad with confrontation. Like I said, I'm really scared that people, I'm like, even when I text people, I'm really trying to, like, not sound,
like, when you say you're bad at confrontation, what does that actually mean to you? Because to me, she's great at causing confrontations, but she just is always wrong. So that's the way she's bad at confrontation.
Mean or aggressive, I'm always doing LOL or I'm sorry. I'm that person that, like, tries to apologize when I have, like, something to say, because I hate confrontation. I don't want people, especially with Ethan, when I ever brought up something, memberships is a good one. You know, I was not going into detail or whatever, but you know, I always wanted to be like, I'm grateful. Like, I just, you know, can we do this? Can we, like, trying to come up with an option? I never want to come across as, like, ungrateful.
You come off as very ungrateful.
To him, especially.
It's giving you half the memberships of, like, the whole channel. I'm pretty sure, which is more than you're supposed to get because you're a third of the podcasts.
Because, like, I was super grateful, and I am super grateful for everything that show, starting at the set, and, like, I was grateful. And I said on the show, like, I did like showing up. I did like being a host. It was so much fun because when I did my own podcast, you know, even with the help of Podcast One, like, I did do all the setup and push the record and make sure it's right and compressing files. I mean, it is a ton of work, and I've always and push the record and make sure it's right and compressing files. I mean, it is a ton.
I feel maybe I'm being a little too pedantic, but I feel like the way that she described it was like such a superficial aspect of making the podcast, where she boiled it down to just like recording it, and that she's too stupid to record it. It almost seemed like a really passive aggressive way to be like, yeah, you don't really do a lot, but to try to make it sound like she thinks you do a lot, you know? Because, like, what did she really just say there?
So, even with the help of Podcast One, like, I did do all the setup and push the record and make sure it's right and compressing files. I mean, it is...
Like, what the fuck is compressing files? What does that mean? Like, I know what compressing a file is, but why would that be relevant?
A ton of work, and I've always was very grateful for it, and it obviously turned into something super big where people were excited about it. And you know, when you're in something, for me, when I was in it,
like, I edit videos too. I don't compress files.
I didn't think of it as, I thought it was cool. I remember being like, it's crazy how people are like us, and I think he had mutual feelings because, you know, Ethan for some time too had his own share of. He's grown too, let's just say. You know what I mean? He was at a place and he's changed tremendously.
Seems like a weird thing to bring up during an apology. Sorry, I'm slurring my words.
And so we both were kind of like these problematic people. I think I was looked at a little more problematic probably because I do have...
Yeah, I think that Ethan used to not be that problematic. He used to be a little edgy, and some of the things he said weren't great, but he was like a more honest person. Now I feel like Ethan's kind of throwing his platform away to pander to like your audience of, like, honestly, social justice warriors on Twitter. Like, people who get super offended over dumb shit. And I'm not saying that he should continuously say slurs. Those were wrong. But, like, he's gone far beyond just being a better person, and now he's just like kind of a preachy dickhead, honestly.
Outburst. I am emotional, and I look a little more chaotic than most people online. So, you know, I was grateful, and
you weren't, but okay.
I really just apologize the most for breaking trust, and that's the worst. Sorry, I'm upset right now. And this is something maybe you should have called her. Like, there's so many times. There's every day I'm like, I should be like, can we talk? But when you're the one that's in the wrong, me in the situation, it's harder. It's harder to be like, let's talk. Because you're the one that caused the hurt.
Someone in my chat said she's lying. She told Joey Graphic, I don't know who the fuck that is, that she would call out people who wronged her immediately. Yeah, we already did. She's a liar.
Affliction, and so...
It's 86 degrees out, guys.
You have to wait for that to heal. You don't want to put salt on a wound to make things worse. And it's up to that person to, you know, I don't know. That's how I think of things. I don't want to...
Did you get this out of like a book of inspirational quotes? So what is happening right now?
Because we really did end on that term when I posted the screenshot. You know, I posted the screenshot in a manic reaction to feeling rejected. Like, let me get to the next apology. I apologize to...
That's probably genuine. She probably did do that, right? Because she felt rejected when the people didn't want to like do whatever shoot with her because she was incredibly rude to them. That's probably the only true thing that she said.
All the H3 staff and also /frenemy staff.
It's like, oh, H3 staff /frenemies, even though she doesn't actually believe that.
I always appreciated you guys. Obviously, I said on the show, I said before the show when we did the podcast, I was like, I don't want H3 leaking over here. Because it's just totally different content, in my opinion. The way I expressed my...
Am I the only one seeing this? Like, she's got something on her lip. I can't stop looking at it now.
Myself communicated this was disrespectful, and I really apologize. Specifically, like...
Does she get Botox in her lips? That looks like there's like a worm going in there. Or does she have like the herpes?
Just as much. I was gonna say more, but just as much as my apology to
I can't
Ethan.
zoom in more, can I?
You know, Ethan and I are on camera, right? Like, I always thought our risks, our tiffs as what the content was when it happened. It didn't happen much because it was real. Like, anytime I was triggered or whatever, I went into like a episode, you know, I was happy to have that be the content, but it wasn't that often because it really does affect me. Clearly, it really does send me into a spiral, and we didn't have that for so long, and it felt really good. And I think people liked that so much more. I saw a TikTok of this amazing artist named Inky Witch. I actually met her ironically when we were filming Frenemies vlog number 2 on the Hollywood bus tour, and she had come up to me and she had done portraits of me before. She's an amazing artist, and she did the one of me and Ethan like sipping tea, and then like she did this cool like trick thing where all of a sudden it became like pizza, and it was like us like angry. Should I show it? It's so pretty.
No, you shouldn't show it. And
it really kind of made me...
Hey, what's up, Curly? Thank you for the sub, my man.
Really sad because I started reading the comments, and here it is. I don't want to get copyright, so let me just turn this down. Okay. Again, I respect it. I'm an online personality. I post content.
The comments have been brutal. All the Ethan stands. So these aren't just normal perspectives. These are from the perspective of people who love and worship Ethan. So, you know what I mean? I feel like those people are gone. Honestly, I don't know that Ethan has stans anymore. I think that a lot of the people that used to love him and stan him kind of just dissipated when his content shifted and he became very preachy. So, like, this is just her derogatory way of just being like, oh, these people are going to disagree with me regardless. Like, to her, whatever they're saying isn't justifiable or reasonable or decent criticism. It's just stans that will always disagree with her and agree with Ethan. What? Because she doesn't want to actually bear the brunt of actual accountability.
I respect, you know, a loyal fan base.
Yeah, okay.
But
probably because you don't have one anymore, because you just shit on them constantly. You do have a loyal fan base of like psychotic 13-year-old girls. That's actually true.
Yeah, everyone's like, they should have never ate the pizza. The pizza curse was real after all.
Those are the stands. Those are the bad comments. Yeah, the pizza curse. That was literally Ethan trying to like make the situation more humorous and like dialing it back.
This one, honestly, they should still come back with the show. I know Ethan is over it, but the point of the show is that they have conflicts.
No, they shouldn't. No,
if they get back together, just flip it smiley side up.
If they get back together, I'm gonna laugh.
Literally never bought something. Oh, she's.
If they get back together, I'm going to fully embrace the conspiracy theory that all of the controversy the two of them have is completely generated. Like, if he's like, yeah, we'll go back to it, then it was 100% objective fact. That must be that, like, this is all performance. That's what I would be indicated to me if they get back together after this. This is supposed to be a breaking point where it's like, I'm not doing this anymore.
So she sells these. Cool. Everyone should tag it. Trisha liked it this time. I did like it. I don't blame them if he's dead. It seemed to stress both out. And yes, I want to make that clear too. This is in no way me trying to be like, bring me back. You know,
Yes, you is.
I've always been resilient, and I'm someone.
No, you're not.
We're very different, me and Ethan. Like, and it was evident on the show.
You're different from most people in the
way
world
at all, because like he's so successful. He seems very content in life, and I'm someone.
That just sounds derogatory from her. Like, oh, he's so content in life. Like, that just sounds like a derogatory slur from her because of who she is. She gives a lot of backhanded compliments. I'm just trying to figure out what. Like, because what, he doesn't do OnlyFans with her? Like, what is it that, why give the, because I just don't believe that was an actual compliment.
But I'll never be satisfied. I'm someone who's always just ready for the next thing. Then what's next? What more can I do? Like, I try and do just the absolute most.
No, it's not what more you could do. It's like, what can you fucking ruin? Like, you get bored. You're impulsive and you're bored. It's not that you're looking for the next thing. She's trying to make herself seem like a go-getter. Hey, I'm the wolf on Wall Street. No, you're actually an idiot that ruins things because you get bored, impulsive, and you're very self-centered.
I don't know what it is. I literally write like I'm running out of time. I'm literally like, this. I'm like, let's do SNL, let's do a morning talk show, let's do this, you know, and not to say he's not ambitious, right? He totally is.
And like, you just showed up for frenemies without any preparation. You didn't do anything. I don't understand. Like, it's not like you don't put hard work into anything.
They're doing all this stuff, you know, and he wanted to do the vlogs and stuff, which had, you know, but
so she's like, I wanted to always do more. Ethan was actually doing more, but the vlogs and expanding frenemies. But like, what is your argument here? You just are impulsive.
I wanted to be like, let me go to Broadway. How am I going to do the podcast? I'm also doing Broadway. You know, like I'm trying.
Is she on Broadway? And, who would let her on Broadway?
And I
would see her?
Like mourning the death of frenemies, because it really is like, okay, something always comes along. When the Dish of Trish, my first podcast ended, like I was actually really sad about it, because before quarantine it was like the podcast where I could interview guests, and obviously it was like a joke on frenemies that I wanted to interview guests, but I love talk shows. I love interviewing like people in general, celebrities, YouTubers.
Somebody asked, why did the video get more likes and dislikes? This is a pretty bad like to dislike ratio, but it's better than most of our videos have been, and it's like I said before, it's a 40-minute long rambling video where people see the title that's Apology to Ethan, they listen to the first 5 minutes, they tune out because it's boring and it's just fucking droning on about nothing, and then they just accept it as a fact that she apologized sincerely even though it's not what's happening.
And like,
why is she talking fast? Because I don't feel like listening to this on normal speed. She's rambling about nothing.
I got to interview Brett Michaels with the Dish of Trish, which was like so big to me, because I like loved him on Rock of Love. Like, I was so proud of myself. I got that guest. It wasn't through podcast, like I got that guest, and I was really good at like Mickey Avalon. I went to a show and I was able to get him on Dish of Trish. Like, I love the Dish of Trish. So when it was like canceled, you know, I really don't know. As far as podcasts go, I could figure it out, I'm sure, somehow, how to put it on iTunes, how to get ads, but I don't know how to do that stuff. I'm very upfront about that. So when it got canceled, because Podcast One was like putting it up for me and getting me ads, like, oh, what do I do? And then sure enough, Frenemies came along like a month later. So not to say I'm like dying to jump back into a podcast. I'm definitely not. I'm definitely.
What it sounds like is Trisha. Oh, there was the demon at the door. It sounds like Trisha has this idea in her head that like fate will always take care of her so she can do as many wrong things as possible. Like when her last podcast failed, a new one happened. And that was probably one of the reasons that she felt so strong about ditching the Frenemies podcast. Because she's like, I'm going to find something better. Because she has like this distorted view of self-worth. For whatever reason, people in her life value her despite the fact that she is valueless. And so it's just crazy to me. It really is just crazy to me because that's actually what's happening. And she thinks that like the fucking astrological signs are going to make sure that she has some kind of way to pay her fucking bills. That's got to be the most entitled perspective I've ever heard anybody have.
I'm doing podcast interviews right now because I have one coming out Friday with it's an all girls podcast I'm really excited about.
Great. Whoa! Wait a minute. Fake trans. Objective fact.
Interviews right now because I have one coming out Friday with it's an all girls podcast I'm really
excited. Oh, it's an all girls podcast. I thought that you identified as they and he. Oh wait, I forgot. Performative bullshit. Trying to pretend that you're fucking trans so that you can get more clout because it's in style, right? You diminish trans people by existing, Trisha. And that Freudian slip there was just proof that you're a fucking liar.
Excited about. And I love the banter. And obviously started enemies. Because I love gossiping. I think drama channels, T channels, I just like hate them or when people talk about me. But when you look at it, it's just fun and gossip. And I really attribute that to Moses just being my calming like force, like knowing he's like not going anywhere, that it all is just internet. Like real life, people are so nice. They always come up to me. People are just like, I love
people. Somebody in my chat just said she diminishes humans by existing. That's funny. But I do want to be clear because I don't think, because that's a funny joke. But like what you're saying is she shouldn't exist. I don't think Trisha should. Trisha should exist. She just needs to learn why she's so ignorant, you know. So this way, because Trisha probably watches this video, or probably, I mean, she probably doesn't. I'm just being full of myself. Either way, I just want her to know that, like, don't, despite being a bad person, don't take your own life. Better yourself genuinely and truthfully instead of just saying things that make you comfortable and just trying to like work on social narrative. She's never interested in the truth. She's interested in what makes her hated the least.
Love you so much. It's not, internet is not real life. And like, the minute you can realize that, where it's all entertainment for the most part, yes, the real people are involved, it's like, it does feel less. So I like to do the gossip once a week. I didn't even look at
this is so weird. Like, she's acknowledging, like, yes, the internet's not real life, but I think that she's the one that lives in it in this way, right? Like, she's very performative about a lot of it. This is what it says to me. Like, internet is not real life, but like, if I was going to do a podcast, while I would acknowledge that the space I'm in isn't real life, I wouldn't acknowledge that I'm an actor in that space, like of the disingenuous space. So to write the internet off as like drama and to acknowledge it and to acknowledge that you're an actor within that drama shows to me that like this was very performative and that you're admitting that it was a performance.
Anything like Jeff had said or anything until like the day before, because I wanted to do my little podcast Enemies, and I just wanted to, because I'm like heat of the moment. Once I see something, I get really angry and I just want to like tweet and like, do all the stuff about it. I don't know if that's a good thing. Maybe I should.
Like I said before, she's impulsive.
But I'm so I'm grateful for it. So again, this is me just more making peace. I'm okay. It's I did a 5% vlog because I was giving 5% off my spicy accountant site. And
did I not say at the beginning of this fucking thing that I'm surprised she hasn't plugged her fucking OnlyFans. What happened? 19 minutes and 46 seconds in. Oh, I am my spice accountant. Ha ha ha. Everybody buy my porn.
It was a joke because I knew people would click, and it did. People clicked on it. Obviously, it went from $4.99 to $4.74, so it was like a joke, whatever. But I was starting to do more content on there because, I need another job. I just like to hustle. I'm just someone who always wants to hustle. I always want to keep working. Sorry, I'm getting so sidetracked, but...
Yeah, bro. Like, porn, bro, it's not really working. Like, OnlyFans isn't, like, real work. What I'm doing right now is not real work. This is a privilege bestowed upon me because of everybody in this audience on Twitch and on YouTube. This isn't a job. At least not to me. I used to be a manager of a bus cleaning crew for a bus company. My job was to work outside all year round, drive buses up to like a bus wash, clean piss, shit, vomit, blood off of buses, to disinfect every bus every night because of the coronavirus. That's a job, okay? That's a fucking job. Do you know what I'm doing here? I'm sitting here and I'm just giving my thoughts. We don't work, Trisha. We don't fucking work. This isn't a job, okay? You're not hustling for dick, okay? Maybe you are hustling quite literally for dick. I haven't seen your OnlyFans in a while, but you get my point. Like, we're not hustling, okay? We're not really doing anything. This is fucking privilege, okay?
Like, I was like, you killed the meme. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I killed the meme. That was being mean to me.
Yeah, it was so funny about that meme though was that like she was making a big deal out of this 5% was like so much money, but then like when she was doing the meme in the 5% video, because I watched it, the narrative was like, oh, such a big discount, right? Like being sarcastic and basically saying it wasn't a big discount. So like you're just full of contradictions. She should start a podcast with Keemstar. Absolutely, great idea. Two of the worst people on YouTube starting a podcast, right? Although I'm going to be honest with you, as shitty as Trisha is, Keemstar is the next level of just worthless dog shit. I'm going to use this moment to just talk shit about Keemstar because he is such a fucking loser. I mean, like, listen, this is a person. This is a grown adult man. Okay, he's a grown adult man saying words like, "How can you get sexually assaulted in the mouth? Can't you just close your mouth?" And like to some of you young kids, you might be like, "Oh, well, I get it. That makes sense logically." Well, it's because you're a young kid and you're not in the situation. You don't really have a true understanding. I understand why you're ignorant to sexual assault. Grown man, it's like 40 years old or something. There's no understanding or empathy of understanding of the fear involved in somebody who's being taken advantage of. How do you fucking not understand that, you inept moron? There's never going to be anybody that's worse on YouTube than Keemstar. Like, he is a real, like, worthless dog shit asshole. I mean, honestly, he's a fucking idiot. Canceling Carson the way he did for nothing. Calling him a pedophile, 19 years old, because he sexted a 17-year-old. This is the caliber of Keemstar. Just so you guys know. Keemstar tried to box me? I'm not going to box Keemstar. If I ever would, first of all, nobody gives a shit because nobody really fucking cares about me. I know my place. But second of all, why would I ever do something that would be lucrative for him?
It is what it is.
Like, I have to, you guys have to understand, like, I don't look at this through like a frame of how much money can I make on the internet. I've cut people off who could probably have helped platform me because I think that they're bad people. That's what I do. Because, like, I have, like, a sense of self and, like, fucking moral values. I don't ever associate myself with genuinely shitty, bad people. I don't give a fuck because, you know what? Let's see it happen. That would be huge for my career. Fuck Keemstar.
Honestly, it is what it is. You know,
And, like, people saying I'm a good person. I'm not a good person. Like, that's just how you should conduct yourself in life. You know what I mean? Like, most of you are the same way. Like, that's not me being any better than anybody else. Every single one of you motherfuckers out there knows that you would do the same thing. That there are people in your life that you know you need to cut off. It doesn't matter if it's better for you financially if you're with them. You know what the right thing to do is, and that's how I like to interact. That's what I do. That's what I try to do. Is the right thing as much as possible. Like every one of you guys. That's just not a quality shared by a lot of people on social media, like Trisha and fucking Keemstar.
Let me get back to the apologies because, you know, I really am trying to release, let go, and move on, and hopefully, you know, have family get-togethers, which I really do enjoy. And obviously,
oh, really? I thought you hated the Disney trip.
Like, for Moses' side of the family, like, you know, they like seeing everybody together. I enjoy it. I like that. I don't really have a large family. I have a good family.
I'm sorry, but you do have a large family, Trisha. You guys are quite large. I do too. Both in number and in size. We're a husky bunch. But I can't pass up on the joke.
I have a large family, so it's kind of nice to do family gatherings. I enjoyed all of them. Passover was the best Passover ever this year. So, and
yeah, people keep bringing up the Attica situation with Keemstar. I watched it, right? Keemstar didn't actively tell somebody to take their life. But again, 40 or 30-something, in mid-30s, late 40s, or mid-30s, early 40s-year-old man should have the sense of self, should have the awareness, the social awareness to understand when somebody is a bit disturbed. That Attica person was clearly disturbed. And Keemstar was being insulted by him and told him, like, oh, if life's just a simulation, why don't you just go jump off a bridge? You should know at that age that, like, that's not an appropriate thing to say to somebody who's mentally disturbed. You're not a kid. You don't get the, like, oh, I didn't realize it passed. Like, you suggested that to somebody who was very clearly mentally disturbed, and then he did it. Like, that's shitty. Like, you should have the self-awareness to know that you don't say that to people who are very clearly disturbed in some capacity. So it's like a shitty thing. This guy just has no fucking concept of the world.
Anyways, I really sincerely apologize, truly, to the staff. Like, that one I think was the biggest pill for me to swallow. Like, that was the biggest sword I had to take into, like, that's the biggest dagger for me, because I have a lot of issues. I am drama. I quit everything. I quit Celebrity Big Brother. But even on Celebrity Big Brother, like, I fought everybody on the show. I was like,
that's why they pulled you onto the show.
The people running the show.
I don't care about Celebrity Big Brother, because Big Brother intentionally pulls people on the show that they want. They typecast you, and then they put you in a stressful situation so you have a fucking meltdown. I don't care that she had a meltdown when she was basically put in a situation by producers to have a meltdown. Like, they intentionally create that situation by putting you with people that you're gonna have disagreements with in different ways, and then putting you like confined in a house. So like, I don't care about that. This wasn't Big Brother. This wasn't a highly stressful situation. The framing here is nowhere near Big Brother. Stop trying to compare the two, because you were encouraged to be have a meltdown on Big Brother. You're not encouraged to have a meltdown on Frenemies. It's like a genuinely nice situation, playful, some jokes and some commentary, but you ruined it.
Would always apologize to, even when I left, and they're trying to save me. I kept being like, I'm so sorry, like.
Yeah, and then the other guy from Keemstar, I know I'm going back and forth, where he accused like an old man of being a fucking pedophile. Got him in a lot of trouble. What does he play? RuneScape? Some old man in plays RuneScape? Bro, I talk about a lot of predatory shit on my account. And like, I'm careful about making sure to gather evidence before I go after shit, because that's as a man, we're going to drop the bullshit. As a fucking man, okay? As a man, there's nothing in this world that is more disgusting than somebody who predatorizes children. Nothing. Okay? That is not a unique value. That is just the way that a fucking man is supposed to carry themselves. When you call somebody a predator, you better be making sure that you're calling somebody a predator who's a fucking predator. Because that's the kind of shit that grown men will go to jail for. Grown men will go to jail to protect a child. They don't care. We don't care. And you're going to call somebody that. You have to make sure that you're fucking correct. That's a big deal. It's a big fucking deal. That's how I know that Keemstar's not a fucking man.
I know their job was to convince me to stay in there and stuff, and they were all great. They got me a therapist at the show, you know, but I quit Celebrity Big Brother. And I regretted quitting Celebrity Big Brother. Like, when I got out, it was this kind of the same thing as Frenemies. When I got out, I realized like so many people loved me on that show, but inside it felt like bad and toxic. I don't know. Again, issues I'm working through. But, you know, it was never the crew. And even this, you know, I apologize because it was disrespectful for what I said. For whatever this is worth, like, it was never my intention to attack the crew. I see exactly how it came across.
Well, it was your intention. You did do it.
So
and then you doubled down on it. So it was clearly your intention the whole time.
Again, I'm a mess. I'm a messy person. I'm drama. I have issues, as everyone does, but I've always prided myself on being like a nice person. Like, I feel the reason people
there's no way you ever thought that.
You know, hang out with me, like friends on YouTube, you know, Gigi and Colleen and Joey, we all keep in touch. It's because like I'm a good person. I am drama, and I understand, like, you know, like not being on brand to be in videos. Actually, me and Joey just did a video, but you know,
I mean, you're one of the people who try to cancel a 16-year-old for not wanting to eat snails. I mean, like, we didn't forget the Charlie D'Amelio shit. Like, let's stop pretending that you're a fucking nice person. You wouldn't have dogpiled a child that does dances for a living and had like a show where she has an eating disorder. You would have dogpiled her so easily and taken so long to apparently apologize. I never actually saw it. I heard she apologized, but it seems like she just apologizes so people like her rather than to do the right thing. So
always been great friends to me and stuff, and it's because I'm a people say people aren't. I'm like, I'm nice, you know.
No, you're not.
I treat people with
you're not even nice to look at.
Respect, you know, obviously entertainment stuff. So
me neither,
specifically,
but
like crew, like I've worked with, you know, people that I work with on a consistent basis. I've worked with for 10 plus years. Michael Philpott, who does my costumes, 10 plus years. Andrew Valentine has done every single one of my music videos for the past 7 years.
It's great.
Jeremy has done all my music since Freaky. So
yeah, people that you pay to do the job that you want, that are professionals, that probably put up with your bullshit. Yes, it's crazy that those people like you. They don't have a deep perspective on who you are. It's very superficial. They do things for you and you pay them, and they probably ignore a lot of the ways in which you're a bitch because they do things for you for money. As a professional myself, and as most people in the entire world who've ever worked a real job, you'll generally be nicer to people who give you money for your labor because it's part of your job. So you're cordial to fucking nutcases because of it. Case in point.
5 years. Angel and Ari have been with me since literally 2013. So that's, what is that, 8 years. Isaiah has been with me the longest for my photographer. I'm so trying to. People trying to get me trying to photographers. I'm like, absolutely not. Isaiah did my proposal photos. Does every photos ever. Any professional photos he's done since I was.
Ethan forced Trisha to apologize to Charlie. Oh, there you go.
18 off MySpace. Like, so that's 2006. Like, that's, you know.
This is an apology.
Like,
this is an apology. It's supposed to be an apology. She's talking about how good of a fucking person she is.
I see videos. I treat anyone who works with me, tries to make a vision, a dream, something come true, and like, I try and treat them with,
you don't.
I do. I treat, I've always prided myself in treating them with like respect and just thanking them. And,
I don't think you know what that means.
My dancers, like in music videos even, I always thought they got underpaid, and, they take tax out of the checks. So I've always like slipped them extra money,
Oh, dude, she's such a dumb idiot. Did you hear what she just said?
Videos even, I always thought they got underpaid, and, they take tax out of the checks. So I've always like slipped them extra money,
She's like, hey, the people I paid for dancing or whatever, I always felt they got underpaid. And they got too much taxes taken out. So I gave them more money for their services. Now, nothing will probably happen, but she quite literally opened up all her backup dancers to being investigated by the IRS for tax evasion. Like, does she even realize that that's what you just did? Like, what are you don't say those things, you idiot. See, this is why you don't do this. When you do nice things, you're not supposed to announce them. You realize that, right? Like, when I do nice things for people, I don't go, hey, guys, story time on TikTok. I paid somebody, blah, 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 blah. Like, you're not supposed to do nice things to jerk yourself off. You just literally opened your entire fucking backup dancing crew to get, like, fucking hit by the IRS for tax evasion. Like, you're an idiot. Oh, guys, praise me. I did a nice thing. And you ruined it. You could have fucking just ruined it.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm the person who will overly pay. And I don't say that to try and, like, paint me as this great person.
Yes,
but
you are. It's exactly what you're saying.
One thing that I've, like, prided myself on that I'm like...
No, wait, but you did that, right? Because you're like, I want to pay for my own Disney trip, my own birthday. And then, like, then the second that you could use it as a weapon, all of a sudden, you told Ethan that he's a fucking scumbag for coming to Disney with you. You're a liar. You're a liar. You do nice things for people so that you have a weapon against them in the future. Hey, backup dancer, you remember when I gave you more money than you were supposed to get? Well, you should come and do this dance for me online when you're probably booked for something else. I wouldn't doubt that's an interaction. It seems like Trisha's the kind of person who has extra money that she doesn't care about, and she gives it to people so that they feel like they owe her so that she can exploit them later in the future. You're a fucking... Trisha, you're so fucking transparent.
I'm not, like... And this is not shading anyone, that I'm not I'm I feel like it's gonna be shady, whatever, so I'm not gonna say it. And obviously Ethan's that way too, so I don't want anyone to think I'm trying to shade Ethan. I'm just saying, like, other people I know cycle through people quickly, and he's obviously worked with the same crew, so this has nothing to do with him. I don't want people to think that's where I'm going with this. But people, underpaid dancers, there's YouTubers, I know a guy YouTuber that does music videos and doesn't pay his dancers at all. And, there's just people who don't respect the work that people put in, or people...
What the fuck are you talking about?
Like Gabby yelling at the Escape the Night crew because they changed the schedule or didn't have food for her when she didn't even put in the request. It's like... Bro,
shut up. Stop comparing yourself to Gabby Hanna. Like, this is what she's doing. She's like, Gabby's worse, so I must be okay. I don't really know what's going on between the two of them. I'm just going to believe Gabby's better only because I've seen how terrible Trisha Paytas is. Although Gabby seems to be kind of an asshole too. There was something about how somebody said that she wasn't their type when she approached them about sleeping with him or something, or being attracted. And then she told everybody that, like, he was a scumbag because she tried to, like, bombard him and be like, oh, would you sleep with me? I don't know the specifics. Don't quote me on that. I'm very uneducated on the Gabby Hanna stuff. Seems like a lot of these people are scumbags though. Oh, yeah, she's obsessed with Bo Burnham? Yeah.
I don't know. I've never understood people being rude to those people that are, like, helping you make something. They don't have to be there. Every crew that works with me, from makeup artists to Cedric, my choreographer, to dancers, to the person, gaffing, lighting, sound, like, they are all light years above my pay grade as far as talent. Like, the reason my music...
Well, that's a given. You're not talented. Of course, everybody's light years above the pay grade. The 16-year-old that fucking dropped out of high school is above your grade from talent. You know what I mean? Like, no offense to the 16-year-old that dropped out of high school, but you understand my point. Like, you're a talentless individual. Like, there's nothing there. There's what is your talent? You're not even good at makeup. You don't even look that good. I'm just going to be honest. You look like shit. I mean, I know that I look like shit too, but I didn't try. You did. That's not my fucking problem.
Look good, or even my songs sound good, is because of the engineers, the writers, editors, my amazing, you know what I mean? Like, it's because of them. It's a team that makes it work, and I'm fortunate enough that I'm able to, do this as, like, my dream and my hobby, my job and all that stuff like that. But it's also amazing that I have such talent working for me, because I hear all the time. I hear stories of people like, I don't want to work with that person. I don't care how much money they pay. I forgot about Nicki Minaj. I'm just saying, some people, like, I don't care how much money she pays. She's rude to technicians and staff.
Nicki Minaj, is that where is she just? I don't care. I don't care if Nicki Minaj is rude. It just doesn't matter to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a shit. Like, this isn't about fucking Nicki Minaj. This is about you being a shitty person.
I never understood it. I don't like it. I am embarrassed. That was the most embarrassing thing for me to hear, is that night, and that's what just set me off that whole week, for real. I really did spiral, and I couldn't. It was beyond. You know, I already don't like when people, like, if people don't like me, I already am like, why doesn't this person like me? But that was.
There's no way you don't know why people don't like you. Like, that's crazy. That's your biggest fucking issue, is that you like. I know why people don't like me. A lot of people do like me. They appreciate my bluntness, and they can understand that I mean well, even though sometimes I may not come off well. But some people don't respond positively to that. And those people who don't like me, it's completely understandable and justifiable. But, like, you're getting so much fucking distress over, oh, what is it, they like me? Like, you're not a person that I feel anybody really likes. Honestly. You know, you're kind of just like a meme. You are a reality TV actor always. People like you because you're dramatic. They don't really like you as a person. That's probably an upsetting thing to hear. If you watch this and you hear that, then you actually understand that. That might actually be pretty rough. I'm sorry, Trisha. First step of healing is to acknowledge the truth.
I was disrespectful to, like, crew, and you know, I felt like I've hyped them up so much on frenemies when they make the little things. I always think it's so cool. It's a talent beyond. So it's like, no matter what, even if all the times I hyped them up, like that one time, and it was big and it was nasty. Like, I
hate this narrative.
That's one thing.
She's priming it so hard. She's like, I know I'm always nice to these people. I said that they had a nice haircut, and then I told them they were fucking losers, basically. But you got to remember the good times, guys. Remember the good times, and then I did a bad thing, but you remember the good times. You know, like I've said before, I've been in situations at work where I was a pretty good boss. My people that like worked under me, they liked me a lot, and I liked them a lot. They were great workers. I had times where I would go off the fucking rails, man. Like, everybody has their moments. You know what I mean? But I would never afterwards say, guys, I know I messed up. But remember when I bought you pizza a month ago? You know what I mean? Like, what a scum tactic. I would be like, guys, I fucked up and I'm sorry. I might even say, like, hey, I was having a bad day. Takes a day or two for me to apologize. You know what I mean? Yeah, especially as a man, it takes you a while to apologize. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes everybody understands you fucked up and they just move on. But you understand my point, right? My point is that you don't hold it over people's heads when you were a nice guy. You can't kick somebody in the face and be like, I bought you a burger yesterday.
It's like one thing in life that I will, like, always hang on to, and it'll be like something that hangs, like, on me. Like, I really don't know if I could ever let that go, no matter if there was forgiveness involved, nothing. Like, I don't know if I could. It's a long, I mean, there's certain things between me and Moses. I think with me and Hila last year, like, those are also things that, like, really, I hang on to things from, like, 4th grade. Like, I hang on to things, and they really. You
mean like when you called Hila a cunt and a bitch? Like, what is it that you're hanging on to? And you said that she was a bad mother? Like, what are you saying? What are we talking about right now? What are you holding on to?
You, like, weigh heavy on my heart, and it's like, it's a burden, but it's a burden that I put on myself, and it's something that, like, I never want to be that again. Like, that was just the worst to hear that I was rude to them and disrespectful, and they didn't want to work with me, and it was just like, I wasn't.
Does she? The language that she's using is weird. She's like, it was so bad. Like, listen to this.
Disrespectful, and they didn't want to. That was just the worst to hear that I was rude to them and disrespectful, and they didn't want to work with me.
She's like, it was so bad to hear that she was rude to them. Like, like, you heard it? That's not how you would phrase something when you realized it. You wouldn't say, oh, I heard that I was bad to them. To me, that sounds like, again, what she's saying is she wasn't rude to them, but people thought she was rude to them. Because you don't say it like that. When you're an asshole to somebody, you don't go like, I'm sorry to hear that I was an asshole to you. Does that sound right in real life? No, you'd be like, hey, I'm sorry I was an asshole. Like, I just didn't realize it. You see, like, the verbiage. She's constantly just using, she's just not honest.
And it was just like, I think that was like, I was in shock. I went into, like, shock mode, and I apologize wholeheartedly, 1,000% on me.
A month later.
I apologize for bringing up money. I apologize for just really, again, poor communication. I feel like I've worked on communication so much in my relationship that I've neglected to work on communication, like, on other ways, like speaking up when, even little things, speaking up if I don't like something or don't think, I'm such a hype person. I like to, like, hype everything. I love it. And then, like, it got me in trouble with Nikocado, and I was like, yes, let's hang out. And then I hype, and then ghost, because I love to hype. I don't ever like to shoot down ideas. I don't, you know what I mean? But I really need to.
What? So she hyped the idea and then she didn't go through with it. I find that shitty. You're supposed to go through with your engagements.
Be better at communicating when I don't like
You
them.
need to just work on your communication less. Or rather, you need to work on communicating less. You need to talk. Stop not. You need to not talk. That's what I mean. You have to stop talking. Okay? You need to work on that. Your communication needs to be less. Like, stop talking to people. Stop talking. Just stop talking. 40 minutes of silence. I'll watch that next time.
Something I don't want to do something.
Please.
Be better at it and just grow a pair of balls and talk about it. And for the record, again, I don't know if this makes anyone sleep better or gives anyone peace of mind. Like, I
just want you to know, Trisha, there's nobody in the world that is upset about anything that you do in like any real way where they lose sleep. Nobody's like, oh, I'm going to lose sleep over Trisha doing XYZ. Like, you are somebody that people laugh at the bar. It's like, you remember when Trisha was a fucking asshole today? Yeah, that was funny. What a bitch. Like, that's nobody's like, oh my God, Trisha has such a profound impact on my life.
it had nothing to do with the Q&A segment.
You hated it. You said then you did it yourself.
Cut off, and I didn't know how to communicate or get past it. I just went. The next thing that was coming was the Q&A, so I attacked it. It could have been literally anything.
And then it takes a month to apologize.
I think it had nothing to do with it. It had nothing to do with that. It had nothing to do with staff. And I really, really apologize if I insulted anyone or made anyone feel less than that day, because
she's blaming on being cut off now. So, like, you know what I mean? She's still not a true apology.
My final apology goes out to Hila. We have not talked, and this particular incident didn't directly involve her.
So much going on
there was,
here.
You know, I apologize again for my name call. I apologize for my the names I called you last year. It's gross, and
why is it
was
gross?
Brought up again in Ethan's video, and so
why would it take you a fucking year to apologize? This doesn't make sense to me. Like, dude, she's called her a cunt and a bitch and said that she was a bad mom. Like, those are some of the, well, I honestly don't even care about the first two. Calling somebody a bad parent is like the worst insult ever. They didn't even apologize for these things. Why did Ethan and Hila even continue? Like, that to me shows like a lack of setting boundaries. If somebody sat here and criticized me for my fucking wife, I'm not going to associate myself with you anymore. You're a loser. I don't need you. That's what I was talking about. Like, I would have cut it off instantly. But there are people, I guess, like Ethan, where it's more about the money than it is about, like, the honesty. Like, bro, somebody insults your wife, and then, by admission here, has never even apologized in private, right? Very clearly, there was no private apology, because she wouldn't have no reason to do a public apology. So, somebody called your wife a cunt, a bitch, said she was a bad mom, said you were a bad dad, and then you continued to work with them with no apology even in private. Some of this frenemy shit is Ethan's fault. Like, set some fucking boundaries. Be a man. Not even be a man. Be a strong individual. Bro, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little too old-fashioned, but, like, nobody's gonna disrespect my partner. And, like, oh, yeah, nothing, not a big deal. Like, you learn very quickly in life, especially as a young man, that you don't fuck with another man's wife or kids or family in any capacity. You learn that quick, right? You learn that that is a big deal. There's nothing greater than family. And, like, I guess we just didn't learn that somehow. I don't know. Not even an apology. For shame.
There's still some distaste for me there, and I understand it completely, and I apologize. It's
distaste for what?
It's something that top two ugliest things I've ever done in my life, and
it's probably that makeup.
I've always appreciated your welcoming me into your home after that and being kind to me.
You didn't apologize until now, so apparently you weren't. You didn't appreciate that.
And into your world, I really do have a lot of respect for you, and
I doubt it.
I know that she is an extension of Ethan. Obviously, they are a team, and you know, me talking about Ethan indirectly but also directly connects her to it, and I did not want that. I don't want that. But for what I did say to you last year, I'll always feel guilt. I will always feel disgusted and grossed out by it. And
so why did it take you a year to apologize?
That was the biggest turning point for me, that like I need to know how to handle not going off and going to that ugly place, because it is ugly. It's it's nasty. So I apologize. And I will always apologize. I don't mind if that keeps getting brought up. It should. I don't try and hide from any sort of disgusting things I've done. I will always apologize.
I think you always hide. This is a load of shit.
Any repercussions from that, comments or whatever, because it's gross, and you did absolutely nothing.
It was crazy. Nobody was even talking about that, like
any of this, and I'm sorry that it trickled over to you, because I really have always loved, respected, admired.
I wonder why she is even apologizing for that. Maybe she does genuinely finally feel guilty for that thing, because there was nobody calling out for her to apologize for that. For some reason, most people's audiences don't have like normal human being values of family, and so nobody really focused on that incident enough or at all to hold her accountable. So maybe this is a genuine apology to Hila. It's possible. I mean, like, it's hard to believe because Trisha's not a genuine person, but I can't come up with like another logical reason why she would apologize for this.
I'm inspired by you, so trying to think if there's any other apologies. I'm really sorry. I really am. It's now it's the stages of a Trish freak out, and like, I feel good. I feel strong. I feel like, you know, loved and cared for over here. With all this now put out there, I feel like I can fully move on. So maybe this was a selfish apology, but I hope it can give some.
It was a long apology.
Ethan, the crew, and Hila. That
could have done this in private if it was about giving them peace, but it's not. It's about changing the social narrative against you.
I'm sorry, and I hope in time that we will be able to talk again. Like, I know once trust is broken, like, it's nearly impossible to gain back, but I'm willing to put in effort, and
that's great.
You know,
that's great.
At the end of the day, you are my fiance's family, and I respect that so much.
Well, they're supposed to be your family as well.
Probably more than.
I mean, I know that's. I know I'm being like really pedantic about this at this point, like calling that out. But like at this point, you should consider them family if this is a person that you intend to be with for the rest of your life. I'm probably over-examining that point, but like this is one of those things where it's hard to give her a break on anything. It's who she is.
I respect that so much, and ultimately, Ethan and Hila are the reason me and Moses are together.
Yeah. What a catastrophe.
Someone who really does love me unconditionally, and I ultimately apologize to Moses. He always tells me, stop, you don't need to apologize. Like, I'm always like, I ruined your life. I did all this, you know, I ruined our life. I ruined a good thing. You know, we saw your family more, and like, stop it. He, you know, he's
somebody asked me, how am I still watching this? I don't know.
I do have to start thinking about, you know, there's Moses. I don't want to, you know, I'm not trying to embarrass him with all this. You know, all of our past traumas get brought up, past conflicts, past hurdles all got dragged up again, and it's not easy. It's, you know, you read that stuff and you're like, you know, I start thinking like, you shouldn't be with me, you shouldn't do that, you know, I shouldn't be with you, like, you know, this isn't gonna work, if this is how we're going into our marriage. And he's like, but it's not, you know, we healed it, we resolved it, and that's again just,
it's fair, whatever, it's between them, so it doesn't matter what other people think. But it's zoning out here.
The internet versus reality. The irony of that was Ethan's first video about me. So, you know, I had to start also taking into account that. And same thing with Ethan on front of me is, you know, like, I also was representing him because we are connected, and I'm also representing Moses because we are connected, and I have to also, I put my family through it. My family, I didn't realize like how much stuff they took because of me being associated with me. My skincare collaborator, Charlotte, and Glow Skin Enhancement, my, you know, clothing line collaborators, Marsan, they recently...
Yeah, you really fucked them because they got into collaborations with you because of you were doing so well in Frenemies, and then you ended that engagement, and like whatever they offered you was no longer acceptable because like they probably gave you a good deal because of the clout that you had, but then you destroyed it yourself, and you actually put those businesses in like an issue, like a compromising position as well, where like it's not worth their investment.
Too, and I guess I didn't realize I did, you know, that my family went through that, but I didn't know the severity until I would see messages that they got. And they're great, they're strong, and they support and they stand by me because, again, I do pride myself in having good intentions. I really don't want to have bad oho on anyone. I don't, you know.
I don't think you pride yourself on having good intentions. I think you pride yourself when the public narrative is positive of you, even if you're wrong.
I don't want that.
Like, honestly, with the David Dobrik thing, I don't like David Dobrik. I think he is kind of an asshole, but it was a pure cancellation against him. There was no like attempt to re-educate him or educate him on why he what he did wrong was wrong. That's what I hate about cancel culture. There's very few people that should get canceled. It's mostly limited to people who, abuse people physically, sexually. David Dobrik, that whole situation was like really shitty, but it wasn't because he's a predator. It's probably because he was just an idiot that doesn't understand the implications of his actions, and there was never any room left open for any growth to happen. You just pride yourself on having a positive public narrative.
I don't want anything bad. I want everyone to succeed. Because if you wish well for everyone, then if there's if you only think positive things, that's what you attract. If you think negative things or you look for negative things in other people, you'll also attract that. Even if that's like a weird thing, but I really, focus. I really try and see things right. Like when frenemies continued, of course, initially you're just like, I'm irreplaceable. I mean, everybody is replaceable at the end of the day. They replaced Suzanne Somers on Three's Company twice. Not as good as the original Christine, but Farrah Fawcett too. She'd just be walking off of Charlie's Angels first season, but also replaced. I mean, everyone is replaceable. And I'm happy with his mom, and obviously there's ads and there's the responsibilities that we had. We had a contract for a year for ads and stuff, so obviously he had to continue it. And I the initials oh no, it's over. But at the same time, I'm no, I'm glad he found a way to bounce back, because I really do think it's all about keep going. And we are somewhere in that way, because I gotta keep going too, I am really sad that I didn't get to celebrate Ethan's birthday. I have his birthday presents here. Everything is bedazzled pink and black, so, well, I guess if Families is still going, I guess he could still use it. I don't know. There's no bad juju on it, so maybe I could do a video presentation of what I got Ethan for his birthday. I was very excited. I take birthdays very seriously. It's a month in the process. I don't know. And he's someone who can get anything he wants, so I thought I put in a lot of thought. But anyways, yeah, again, I like anyone that does well. I wish people well. And yeah, that's it. I don't know. I hope this.
I will say she does seem actually sad about Ethan, so that's nice.
This gave peace of mind to the people I apologize to, or at least
probably not. But the apology was completely insincere. But she does seem to be sad that she missed Ethan's birthday because she got him a nice gift, I guess, and she really wanted to give him that gift so he'd have a reaction. It's probably like an iTunes gift card or something. If she said it, I missed it because I zoned out. I'm sorry. It's hard to get through this video.
Whatever I took away from you, I'm sorry.
It's almost over, but fuck.
Spirit, if that's respect, if that's whatever I stripped of you, I really, really am sorry. I'm really, really sorry for breaking trust. Breaking trust is the worst.
Plug the merch. Weird, she hasn't done it yet. Let's see what we got left. Do we have enough time for her to plug the merch?
Anyways,
got another 40 seconds for her to plug merch.
Love for the H3 podcast, the crew, family.
There's no way she plugs so much.
And thank you guys for being nice. The comments are shifting, so I didn't want to call out an apology because the comments are so bad. In fact, when comments are bad, I kind of want to fight more. And now the comments are being very sweet, and they're kind of.
Look at this. She's like, I'm happier now because the comments are nicer. So the campaign's working of her just fucking shifting the narrative.
Going back to just what they were, and I appreciate that because it kind of helps me heal and look at things from more of a sound, fair mind. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Sorry if I'm looking off to the sides. It's I feel so awkward sometimes doing this, but
because Moses sits behind her camera when she does this too. I wouldn't doubt he's sitting on the other side just staring at her, sitting in a chair.
I love you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
See you in my next video. I don't know what the hell this is. Okay, that was a lot of nothing. That was great. Let's read some of the comments. Trisha needs to be studied by psychology scientists. This is a gem for her. If Ethan doesn't take her back, she's going to start attacking. Remember when she said David's apology wasn't genuine because he only did it after losing money? Yeah, true. Yeah. It's true. True. Well, that's that, guys. Let's hope that this is the last episode. Well, listen, this won't be the last time I talk about Trisha. It's so much fun to make fun of this girl, so I'm not gonna. It won't be, but I don't know. Though that one was not fun. That one was horrible. 40 minutes. Anyway, guys, I love you. Hey everyone, if you liked that video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow my Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, Discord, and TikTok. All links are in the description. Also, check out my Patreon if you'd like to support me even more than you already do. Thank you so much, everyone. I love you all.